Rafik was known throughout the little mountain village not because he was the strongest or the richest, but because he was the most honest man anyone had ever met. He was a woodcutter, and each morning, before the sun even rose over the misty hills, he would take his worn wooden axe, sling a rope over his shoulder, and head deep into the forest. The forest was his workplace, his market, and his friend. The tall trees whispered when the wind passed through their leaves, and the ground smelled of damp earth and wildflowers. Rafik's life was simple. He lived in a small clay house at the edge of the village with his wife and young daughter, Amina. They did not have much, just a mat to sleep on, a small cooking fire, and a shelf with a few tin plates, but they never went hungry. Rafik worked hard, and his wife, Samina, managed the home with care. Every morning, she packed him a small piece of bread, a boiled egg, and a flask of water for his day's work. One day, as the golden sun began to rise, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Rafik headed into the forest as usual. Birds sang their morning songs, and the river nearby sparkled like a ribbon of silver. He decided to cut wood near the riverbank that day, thinking it would be cooler there under the shade of the tall oak trees. He worked for hours, chopping thick logs into neat pieces, wiping the sweat from his forehead. Around midday, he sat down by the river to eat his bread and egg. The water looked so fresh and clear that he leaned over to wash his hands and drink a handful. But as he did, his old axe slipped from his grasp. In the blink of an eye, the axe splashed into the river. Rafik gasped. That axe wasn't just a tool, it was his only means of earning money. Without it, he couldn't cut wood, and without wood to sell, there would be no food for his family. He quickly jumped to his feet, searching for a way to retrieve it. But the river here was deep, and the water moved swiftly. The axe had vanished into the shadows below. Rafik sat down on a rock, his heart heavy. He couldn't afford to buy a new one, not even the cheapest kind. As he sat there, trying to think of what to do, he suddenly heard a gentle voice. "Why do you look so troubled, Woodcutter?" Rafik looked up and saw a beautiful woman standing on the water itself, her gown shimmering like silver, her hair flowing like a waterfall. She held a glowing staff in her hand. Rafik's eyes widened. He knew at once this was no ordinary woman. This was a river spirit, a guardian of the waters. "My axe fell into the river," he said honestly. "Without it, I cannot work. My family will have nothing to eat." The river spirit smiled kindly. "Do not worry, I will help you." She dipped her staff into the water, and within moments, she lifted an axe from the depths. It gleamed in the sunlight, made entirely of gold. "Is this your axe?" she asked. Rafik shook his head. "No, that is not mine. My axe was made of plain iron. I cannot take something that does not belong to me." The spirit nodded and lowered the golden axe back into the water. Then she raised another one. This time it was silver, shining like the moon. "Is this your axe?" she asked again. Rafik sighed. "No, that is not mine either. Mine is old and ordinary." The river spirit's eyes sparkled with approval. Once more, she reached into the water, and this time she brought out a worn iron axe with a cracked wooden handle. Rafik's face lit up. "Yes, that's my axe." He took it gratefully, holding it as if it were the most precious thing in the world. "You are an honest man," the spirit said warmly. "You could have taken the gold or silver axe, but you told the truth. Such honesty is rare." She smiled and handed him the golden and silver axes as well. "Take these as a reward for your honesty." Rafik was speechless. "But I cannot accept these. They are too valuable." "They are yours," she said firmly. "Use them wisely." And with that, she vanished into the mist over the water. Rafik stood there for a long moment, the weight of the gold and silver axes in his hands. He felt like he was dreaming. Slowly, he placed them carefully into his sack and walked home. When he arrived, Samina was shocked to see him carrying 3 axes. He told her the whole story, and she smiled proudly. "Your honesty brought you this blessing," she said. News of Rafiq's good fortune spread quickly in the village. Everyone was amazed by the story of the river spirit and the reward he had received. Most people praised Rafiq for his honesty, but not everyone felt that way. There was one man, Karim, who was also a woodcutter but very greedy. He thought to himself, if Rafiq can get gold and silver axes by pretending to lose his axe, so can I. The next day, Karim went to the same riverbank. He looked around to make sure no one was watching. Then he threw his own axe into the water on purpose. "Oh no," he cried loudly, pretending to be upset. "My axe has fallen in. What will I do now?" Sure enough, the river spirit appeared. "Why are you crying, woodcutter?" Karim quickly told his false story, pretending he had accidentally dropped his axe. The river spirit dipped her staff into the water and brought up a golden axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked. Karim's eyes gleamed. Yes, that's mine," he lied eagerly. The spirit's face grew stern. "You are not telling the truth." She lowered the golden axe back into the water and disappeared. Karim waited, thinking she might return with the silver axe or his original one, but she did not come back. He was left without any axe at all. He trudged home empty-handed, realizing too late that greed had cost him his only tool. Meanwhile, Rafiq used the gold and silver axes wisely. He sold the golden one and used the money to repair his house, buy warm clothes for winter, and make sure no one in his family ever went hungry again. He kept the silver axe as a memory of the river spirit's kindness, and continued to work with his old iron axe because he loved the feel of it in his hands. Years passed, and Rafiq's honesty became a lesson parents told their children. Even travelers from other villages came to hear the story of the honest woodcutter, and whenever Rafiq passed the riverbank, he would smile, remembering the day his truthfulness was rewarded. One afternoon, Amina, now a young girl, asked her father, "Papa, why didn't you take the golden axe when she first showed it to you? You could have been rich right away." Rafiq smiled and patted her head. "My dear, wealth gained through lies never brings real happiness. But when your heart is clean, even the smallest gift feels like treasure." And so, the legend of the honest woodcutter lived on not just as a tale about gold and silver, but as a reminder that honesty is worth more than all the riches in the world.